Guys, so this is my theory of the Five Nights at Freddy thing with the murderer and the children. I'm gonna start with the first restaurant that we know of, which would be Freddy's Diner. It's a small place with what we can tell has only one animatronic, Freddy. In the minigame from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, it shows Freddy running around giving cake to kids. Now, outside we can see this other child wanting to join the party. However, this is where the Purple Man first makes his appearance and kills the child. This is how the haunted story starts off. So the next restaurant we get to is where the five children go missing. So at this point, we start to find that the Purple Man ended up getting a job here. This is where we have Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. But there is also an empty costume, Yellow Freddy, which someone would dress in for special events. For me, it's also possible that Yellow Freddy was actually just a guy in a suit, and this is where Purple Guy gets his idea when he sees how the kids trust the character from the first diner restaurant. So, in order to get his fill from killing children, he becomes one of the day shift guards. In my theory, that the Purple Guy in this new restaurant is the one to become the main mascot guy for special kids' parties. This way, no one suspects much when he leads them into the back room to kill them. Now, the newspaper clipping here, the kids themselves were most likely picked off in small groups as the newspaper clippings in the first game show that two children go missing, then the next three. Purple Guy at this point stuffs the children into the suits. Whether they were chopped up into bits is unknown. The last child was most likely then stuffed into the yellow suit. Now, at this point, the ghost of the first child must have decided, no, this can't go on any longer, and somehow attaches the spirits of the five murdered children to the suits themselves. Later, in another newspaper clipping, we can see that the suspect was indeed convicted, but it never actually says that he was sent to jail for his crime, as the bodies were never found. So he was just judged. We don't know if he actually was guilty or not. As the time passes, customers and staff start to notice the smell and mucus from the rotting corpses of the animatronics. This is when the restaurant health clinic starts to hack down on the place, forcing to close as no one else seems to want to buy it with the history that the restaurant has. Next, we move on to the second Five Nights at Freddy's game, where we get the newly made animatronics. The new ones are made to look more friendly and are installed with certain devices to keep people away from the children. Now, the suits we know of from the second restaurant are now being used for parts, so it's very possible that the spirits of the children from within them have now been split into the newer ones. There is also two new animatronics, Ball Boy and the Marionette. Now, one of the newspaper features of the game was to keep winding up the music box to stop the marionette from waking up. Now, I believe that the first dead child somehow made its way into the puppet, so the music box is used to calm the child down. It would make sense that this child is the most aggressive one, and the phone guy even states that he's scared of it because it's always thinking.
One more thing. Don't forget the music box. I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere. I don't think the Freddy mask will fool it, so just don't forget the music box.
The child from the yellow Freddy has possibly split with Ball Boy, and he's more silent threat by stopping the light from working so the others can come after you. The mascot that you are given is to make the children believe that you're also trapped like them, but if you're not quick enough, they will attack you. The mask that you wear is an essential part. Later in the week, the phone guy mentions that something is wrong with the animatronics and none of them are acting right, which is probably them getting more and more agitated and confused, or it's the marionette who is using the software of the bots to go after the older people.
Just as a side note though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics tonight if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems, we're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive toward the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare hang tight. It'll all pass. Good night.
The last night, we find that the place has been closed down because someone took one of the suits, a yellow one. Now, with Five Nights at Freddy's 3, now there is a possibility that it was actually Springtrap that was taken, as it never actually states the name of the suit.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
He also mentions that next day before they close will be for a birthday. This is when the bite of 87 takes place, is what I believe. The children possessing the toys find out that their killer is back because of the yellow suit that was taken. One of them, filled with rage, snaps and chomps down on one of the day guards to remove his lobe. A lot of people believe that it was Foxy who took out the front lobe of a child, but this I don't think is true. They would not attack children as they are children themselves. They would more than likely have hated adults, and more than likely any security guards, mainly you, as Phone Guy tells you to stay close to them. So it's possible your character is the one who got bitten. This is how the place is once again closed down. Now, on to Five Nights at Freddy's the first game. This is once again another new restaurant. However, this one is smaller and back to the old animatronics of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. However, this time, two of the dead children do not have bodies. This, however, does not stop them from haunting the place and forcing you to know they are there. Now and again, you'll see images and hallucinations of Yellow Freddy and the first crying child. Also, guess who is back? The same phone guy from the second game. He's been around for quite a while now, and I think he secretly suspects that the children might be after him. As some people believe, as well myself, that phone guy is in fact Purple Guy. Now, these animatronics are once again out to get you as being a security guard. They see you as a clear threat. The children's mindset is full of anger, pain, and depression. I have this feeling that they have two sides. They want to desperately reach out for their help to save their souls. They want their spirits to be calmed and released, but they cannot control their anger and pain. Imagine for a minute, what if it happened to you? That your life was taken and your body was never found. Your parents never knew what happened to you. You would be scared and angry. You would want to be freed, but so you reach out for help, for someone to take your hand and say everything will be alright. That pain could very easily turn into incredible negative energy. To quickly make a quick note, you're probably curious why I think Springtrap is the suit that was taken. Well, from the newly released third one, we know the suit can be used as a suit to be walked in, as well as an animatronic. Also, remember seeing those images of a dark purple Bonnie and Shadow Bonnie. To me, this is a foreshadowing of one mascot that was hidden, Springtrap. As we quickly move on to the third installment of the Freddy trilogy, we are this time brought into another night guard shift. However, this time it's a haunted walkabout. The phone guy is a completely new person. On the first night, nothing happens, it's just an introduction to the software. But they have relics from the other restaurants. Notice all the mascot heads are now being used as hall lights? The children are once again trapped inside the mascots. Night 2 rolls around, and guess who they have found? Springtrap. Springtrap himself is completely torn, and as suspected, parts of flesh seem to be in and around the suit. Now, my next theory, if you remember on night 4 and 5 at Freddy's Fazbear's 2, Phone Guy is apparently locked in a room with banging coming from the door. He is clearly terrified.
Oh, hello. Hey, wow, day 4. I knew you could do it. Hey, listen, I may not be around to send you a message tomorrow. It's been a bad night here for me. I'm kind of glad that I recorded my messages for you when I did. Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits in the back room. I'm going to try to hold out until someone checks. Maybe it won't be so bad. I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh no.
He was killed by the animatronics. When I believe that he saw the faces of his victims inside the suits. It wasn't Freddy or Foxy or any of the others. No, it was all of them. Now having found where he was hiding. The reason they come after you is to make you go through what they did, being stuffed in pain and in terror inside of a suit. Phone Guy was not stuffed into a suit. No. He was driven mad and forced to seek shelter inside Springtrap. However, clearly forgetting to turn off the device, he was crushed inside of the suit. Why do I believe this? The audio and the mini game, and from the last Freddy installment, noticed something white glowing in his hand. Is it a knife for defense? Or is it actually the phone he was still holding onto after speaking with you for the last time? Now, it's under my impression that while the banging sounds were heard in the audio with Phone Guy, is that it was possible that Phone Guy was actually boarding up the doors himself to keep the other children out after finding him. However, there's also another theory that I have about the situation. As Springtrap was found with the purple guy inside of him, employees might have found the body and decided to board up the room themselves so nobody would ever see what had happened in there because it would close the place down again, and they've had a lot of problems with that. Now, if people would panic, then it is most likely that could have actually happened, that they boarded up the room so no one would ever find him. And that is what the guy in Third Nights at Freddy's mentions, is the boarded up room, and they finally found him. They found Springtrap inside because of the mistake that they found with the suit.
Right now we have two specially designed suits that double as both animatronic and suit. For today's lesson we will be continuing our training on proper suit handling techniques. When using an animatronic as a suit, please ensure that the animatronic parts are tightly compressed and fastened by the spring locks located around the inside of the suit. It may take a few moments to position your head and torso between these parts in a manner where you can move and speak. Try not to nudge or press against any of the spring locks inside the suit. Do not touch the spring locks at any time. Do not breathe on the spring locks, as moisture may loosen them and cause them to break loose. In the case that the spring locks come loose while you are wearing a suit, please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not ruin the customer experience. As always, if there is ever an emergency, please go to the designated safe room. Every location is built with one extra room that is not included in the digital map layouts programmed into the animatronics or security system. This room is hidden to customers, invisible to animatronics, and as always, remember to smile. You are the face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Now, in that audio, it does mention that there were two Springlock suits. So they definitely had them when the murders were going on, before the kids killed Purple Guy inside the suit. Now, in the next audio, it also mentions that one of the suit locks were found to be broken and not working properly, so they stopped anyone from taking the other one and stopped them from using them altogether. Which is probably at that point when Purple Guy decides, right, I'll take that yellow suit then, and I can keep that for when I get into a serious problem, or for going out and killing other kids, but they would think it was an animatronic. That is what I think, anyway.
Hello. There's been a slight change of company policy concerning use of the suit. Don't. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suit temporarily unfit for employees. Safety is top priority at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is why the classic suit or tired to an appropriate location while being looked at by our technicians.
I'd like to also quickly mention that the one part when Purple Guy is stuffed into the suit. If you remember in the first Freddy game, you'll remember the last audio track, which is very humanish but also robotic sounding, like it's triggering and it's making a lot of screaming sounds. I think this is also when Phone Guy is desperately trying to get out of the suit. This is him panicking and trying to survive while being crushed inside. But wait, then the children got their revenge, right? Yes, but they also wanted to be freed, as we notice in the bad end. They may have completed their mission, but they were still trapped. In the mini games, after each night, you have the purple guy leading you into the back room of each mascot. However, there is a section where you can find the clues on how to save each child's soul. Every time the purple guy tears apart the mascots to show you what happened to them and how you can free them. Remember when I said that besides part of them wanting to kill you, another side wanted your help? Well, it's my belief that one of the minigames in the second game show the first child taking you to their location of death and leaving the message, help them, save them. But sometimes Purple Man shows up. The killer interrupts this child and cuts you off so you can't. Each time a security guard is being asked for help, Purple Man gets in the way. Every time you solve the puzzles given to you, you find yourself in a minigame giving cake to each child as their eyes light up and you save them. But it's not that easy. Purple Guy is back. His spirit, now locked into Springtrap, will stop at nothing to make sure you do not save these children. This explains why Springtrap is so attracted to the audio of Balloon Boy. He's torn between going after another child and stopping you. The end of this story is entirely on you. Will you solve the puzzles and save the children? Or will Springtrap keep them for more years to come?